Healthy foods don't equal fat loss. Calories still matter at the end of the day. There's a lot of common guilty parties here. Nuts, fruits, particularly dates and things that are really dense in carbohydrates per their size, or just any food you can relate to town with. For me, even oats can be this way. There's times in my life where I pounded 3,000 calories of oats. The weird things that caloric deficits can do sometimes. There's a real danger in having the whole distinction of healthy foods and non-healthy foods. Yes, some foods can have health benefits. This is not discussing micronutrients. This is not discussing any superfoodish style benefits. This is purely a discussion on how it affects weight loss in terms of the whole calories in versus calories out distinction. When we get this off, there is an issue. The issue is you're having clean foods, you're feeling like your results aren't progressing, it leads to frustration, it leads to incorrect conclusions such as I have really bad metabolism, or nothing will work for me, or things that allow you to be demotivated and get in the way of progress. So what are the solves? There's a few ones, but the first one might sound a bit controversial, particularly if you've deemed yourself a person who is snacky. And that is that your main meals just aren't satiating enough. So enter a situation where someone is really snacky around 4 p.m. What they could have done, and I see this a lot, is have some kind of cleanish version of lunch that is 200 calories or even 300, 400 calories depending on your size and body weight and hunger levels. And again, around that 3 p.m. time, just a couple hours later, they're looking for things. Their blood sugar's dropped, the net effects of the last meal satiation hasn't carried them through that window all the way till dinner or 5 p.m. or whatever the next meal is going to be. So suddenly their hunger and appetite is looking for things to fill in the gaps. So the first thing you can do is just make the meals beforehand larger. It can be two different ways. It can be just more overall calories towards it, works well. Or it can be situations as adding higher satiating foods. More vegetables, things with a better calorie to satiation ratio. For example, a kilo of pumpkins, 200 calories, versus a few dates, for example, can be 200 calories. Another thing to do is to pre-plan your snacks. So I think we've all entered a situation like this. I have this chat with clients all the time where they might say, I just had some chips, or I had a few little blocks of chocolate. And it's hard to quantify how much of it there is. Blocks of chocolate might be a little bit easier. There's a shape to it you can see, but with chips, did you have 8 chips? Was it 14? What was it? It's really hard to know. And this is where pre-portioning things can be incredibly handy. Grapes are another example of this. So there is a situation where people will often find themselves eating to the end of whatever's in front of them. And I think this will be pretty relatable. So if it's that tub of ice cream, if there's half left, you might finish it. If it's a full one, you might finish it. If it's a kid's packet of chips, you might finish it. If it's a large one, you might finish it. So quickly you might find that you're matching your eating towards the size that's in front of you. So first is to plan the food in front of you to be something that you can track and that the size of. It was 40 grams, it wasn't 60 or 90 or 200, who knows. Next thing we can do is just simply track that within the overall context of your diet. I'm gonna allow 300 calories of chips here, I'm gonna have 200 calories of chocolate there. Just land that within the overall framework of your diet. So it's not too restrictive where you can't incorporate these things or feel like you can never have them. That's another solve. A larger solve, this is a really large one for people, is the stress eating / boredom snacking, variations of this. So let's say you're procrastinating doing something. Imagine me doing this video. It could be doing some hard task, it could be cleaning, it could be something really hard at work. You might be eating just to delay time so you don't have to get towards that. There are issues there. A, it can be a form of cope that is hard to quantify. B, I can't recommend this enough, is you can almost use food as a slight reward, not in an unhealthy way, but the idea of I will address this headache thing that needs to be done, just knock off this assignment that you don't want to do, then afterwards you can have the food. And the situation of you having food there will be surrounded by enjoyment versus this angst of knowing you got to do something, you're just trying to delay. So you'll actually enjoy the exact same food, exact same quantity more if you do it afterwards as opposed to during, when you've got this thing hanging above your head knowing you need to do that, which you're going to have to rip off the band-aid anyway and do. And now this way you won't be dealing with some wild blood sugar while you do it. So Unfortunately, the best solve there is just address if this is you. Put things into the correct framework of, will I feel better once it's done? And then find a system that will help you rip off the band-aid and then have the food afterwards, for example. Or when you'd actually enjoy it more, because the truth is you're not enjoying it there as much as you think. So it can be frustrating if you're eating healthy and feeling like your results aren't getting there. You can feel like you're inputting the right things that are healthy, not getting results, you get more frustrated, but just within understanding your framework of, was it a boredom thing? Was it that I didn't have a pre-planned sizing? Was it that I was a stress eating? Was it whatever it is? We can address the one thing that's going to be getting you towards your results. Instead, you're not trying to think, is this keto better for me? Or is my metabolism wrong? Or have I got to try this strategy? No, we've solved your one thing. You probably know this is you. So let's find some strategies that actually move you towards solving your thing. And then again, the results can come easy.